Hey everybody, today is gonna be a real quick tip, but I think it might be useful for some of you. So before we start, let's just play something through. I have this wavetable synth right here and there's nothing on there. There's no effects, there's no unison. It's just a really simple wavetable with no movement at all. Let's listen to what it sounds like. So really simple sequence. And I want to beef it up a little bit, and I want to maybe add some chorus, maybe add some phasing, flanging, reverb, you know, all the good stuff. So let's do that. I'm going to start with a phaser flanger, put it right here. After that, maybe a spectral time. And some reverb with the convolution reverb. Let's go for a plates real algorithm. That sounds really not great at all. Right now everything is mushed up and there's no real definition to the sound. We lost quite a bit of the original bite of the synth, at least that's my impression of it. So let's get rid of these effects again and let me show you something that is more elegant and will also help you get a much cleaner mix. So this concept is something I myself learned like years and years ago. I think also from a video here on YouTube, and yeah, it stayed with me and I'm using it all the time. So gonna share with you today what it's about. The concept is really simple. Essentially, we're gonna build a rack that only processes either the low end, the mid frequencies, or the high end, and we can determine where the crossover points are. So let me turn this on for a second. And we have 3 bands right here. I call them low, mid, and high because that's the bands we want to work with. And let me quickly go over how to build this for yourself. So we're going to start by looking for the EQ3 here in Ableton. Just pull it down into your track. And then we hit Command G and group the effect. After this, we have this chain here. This is our EQ3, but we want to triple this. So I just hit copy 2 times. And then I can go ahead and for my low band, I want to disengage the mid and high bands. For the mid band, I'm going to disengage the low band and the high band. And for the high band, I'm going to disengage mids and lows. Pretty simple so far. So the signal we're listening to when I turn this complete thing on and off is the same as before because nothing really changed, right? Let me go ahead and delete this for a second because we have our rack right here. And it's properly named, so low, mids, and highs. So the beauty of this is now we can go ahead and process our lows, mids, and highs differently. And I've already done that in this rack right here. You see, it's the same rack. And the first thing I did was I've gone ahead and lowered my low frequencies. Let me pull up a frequency analyzer. So my original signal, if I get rid of this and set it to 0 again, sound like this. And we can see there's a lot going on in the low frequencies. Didn't want that, so I lowered this by minus 6.5 dB. And that's way more manageable already. And then we slide over to the mid section. And there's a lot more going on. So the first thing I did was add the phaser flanger. And if we solo the bands, we can hear the phaser flanger is only affecting my mids. Nothing happening on the lows, nothing happening on the highs, just as we wanted. Next up, I added a shifter. And this is just to give it a little bit more of a beating sound. So there's a little bit more movement in there. Followed by a saturator. And another spectral time effect to give it this really, really wide and spacious sound. And then we have our high section, which is over here. And I put a chorus in ensemble mode on this, but really, really, really sparely used, just around 8%. And then the convolution reverb, again in the plates mode. And this time you can hear the effect much more pronounced because it's only affecting the highs, and everything in the lows and mids is not affected, so we have a much cleaner sound. We also have much more control over where in the frequency spectrum we're gonna place our sounds. So let me turn the whole thing off again and then on again. This is what we started with. And now we're here. And let's add some drums. And some sidechain, of course. And of course, from there you can go ahead and mess with the parameters on the synth itself. So as stated in the beginning, this is just a quick tip today to get you up and running. Well, since Ableton doesn't offer a solution that's built in for isolating bands and using multiband effects, we have to build our own, but as you've seen, it's not really that hard. Having said that, if you don't want to waste any of your precious time, I'm gonna make the rack itself available as a free download. The only thing you have to do is to become a member of our Discord server, hop on over there, and then there's a downloads button on the left side. Just click on that and grab it. Right, that's it from me today. As always, hope you found this useful, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Take care.